Okay, let's discuss. So I think we have received 9 responses, out of which 6 are saying that it's B, 2 are saying that it's B, and 1 is saying that it can be C. So the right answer to this question is D. And I totally understand if you have chosen B or C, then where you were coming from with that expectation. I totally understand that already. However, I would like to know those who have chosen D, why they have chosen it. And I really want to understand that if they have chosen it for the right reason. Anybody?
Because in this, the project have not been completely done. It is still under the development. And when the project owners is repeatedly complaining about some thing that is not aligned with the original design, the one it was discussed as and finalized. So in this, when we will have in between like the meetings, then the everyone to participate and to discuss, because still we have a time to take a corrective action.
Not that. Anyone else? One more perspective, and then I will explain.
I think as the project owner has an issue, or he had some other idea behind the development of the product, whatsoever is the function itself. So he should be there in the team in the retrospective session to give the input properly to all the team members. I think that would be the correct way to handle this situation.
Okay. Yes, Ahmad, you want to say anything?
Yeah, it can't be the option D. It can't be the option D because in the retro, we are the Scrum team basically discuss about the processes that need to be, you can say, updated, or you can say that need to be corrected for the upcoming sprints. The customer interaction is basically in the review meetings, not in the retro sessions. And the retro is mostly focused on the processes, not on the product base.
Okay, so you are not in favor of D. Which option?
Yeah, I'm not in the favor of D. Yeah.
You have chosen B. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not A, B, and C, and I'm going to explain it why. I think Sarah has added something on the chat box that because it's collaborative with PO, product owner. So yes. See, like I said, it's a pretest question, and maybe some of the aspects of Agile, Scrum to be specific, have not been discussed already in the class. Maybe you already have that understanding based on your knowledge that you have acquired from the simulator, or maybe based on your professional knowledge in the subject matter in your organization setup. See, a lot of parts is there in this question that may connect you to the right answer. First of all, it's very expected that they confuse you in the exam by not saying it right away, product owner. They may say project owner as well, and this is totally fine. By project owner, they mean the product owner. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just to confuse you. So a product owner complains, saying that a function developed by the development team does not seem to align with the original design. First of all, the way it is written, it's an anticipation, right? It's not confirmed. It may be a misunderstanding. It may be a lack of awareness. It may be, about the usability only. Maybe everything is in place, but product owner is not able to understand the usability, how the feature is developed, and that happens when somebody is so layman or so functional and non-technical in their skill set. Even when he is sitting at a higher position in the hierarchy, they may struggle with that. That happens with the customers and their business users and end users as well. So it may or may not be the case. It's an anticipation, right? So he is complaining that the development team has developed something, some feature, which is, as per him, is not aligned with the original design, right? Now, what you should be doing to help to solve this issue, right? This is the question. First of all, don't altogether jump to the conclusion by thinking that if product owner is saying that something is not working as expected, then he is, we can assume that he is always right. He may or may not be. Right? Secondly, where the so this is something that you may not know as of now, may or may not know, depending on your knowledge in the Agile currently. A product owner is a definite member in sprint planning sessions. This is, of course, Agile Scrum setup. Particularly Agile Scrum setup, where a product owner is there, a development team is there, and a Scrum Master is there. Right? We have talked about that already briefly in the first class. And in the Agile Scrum sessions, we have this process flow, which we have not discussed. I know. That's why I said that briefly. I have mentioned it multiple times, but I have not talked about it in detail. Daily Scrum, then sprint review. Sprint, wherever I write sprint, you can map it with iteration or sprint review or sprint retrospective. I briefly talk about it on the previous slide that retrospective is a team introspection mechanism where they self-assess themselves that as a team in this sprint, what we have done good, what we have done bad, and what didn't really work for us, and the action steps so that at least the same mistakes they don't repeat in the next sprint. These are the three agenda items which every retrospective should be answering. Now, the product owner or the project owner that they are referring to, he is a definite member where he brings the prioritized product backlog and talk about what should be done in a sprint as per the customer perspective and this and that. That happens over here where he communicates or he imparts that knowledge, prioritized backlog knowledge to the team, and with their alignment, they articulate a sprint backlog. And once the sprint backlog is crafted, then team on a daily basis, they work on it, they meet to the other members in the daily scrum, and they just do a quick check that if they are on track or not, and this and that, right? And then in the review meeting, again, so the product owner is here, and in the review meeting, again, the product owner comes back along with the customer or end users or business users, like whatever applies, where the team is going to demo whatever they have developed, the increment that we term as. They are going to showcase and demonstrate the increment to the product owner and the customer and the end users, right? This is how it works in Agile. Currently, they are not right away saying it, but you need to understand this is how the questions are perceived in the exam. You need to understand that in this use case, in the question, in which session all of this is happening. First of all, you need to understand it. It's happening in review meeting. How do I know this? I know it because I clearly know that it's a developed function, and the developed function is showcased in the review meeting. And the product owner is complaining. It could have been the customer as well. It could have been the end user as well. The same, in that case as well, the answer would be same. Because I know that this kind of situation would happen in the review meeting only in Agile. As in, let me complete and then I will take you. Now, on that ground, I am going to altogether eliminate it. How? Ask the product owner to sit in the next iteration review meeting. I mean, you are asking him to hold on to his queries till the next iteration review. You are sitting in the current iteration review and you are asking him to wait till the next iteration review so that the development team could produce the like status or whatever changes. This is going to be very reactive rather proactive, and Agile is not at all about being reactive. Agile is all about being proactive. You should not be, if it is a problem, if it is a genuine problem, then you should not be sitting on it as a development team. You should be right away discussing it. You should be right away fixing it, maybe as a prioritized item in the next sprint. Now, why B and C are not the reasons? B and C are not the reason for the same. B and C are not the option for the same reason. See, asking the quality assurance team to identify mismatches and making the corrections, or asking the development team to rewrite the function, justifies that the problem is real. It's not an anticipation. You have, like as a development team, you have agreed that whatever product owner is saying, it's correct, which as per the language of the question is not the case. May or may not, right? As per him doesn't seem to align, but maybe as per you, it's working as expected, and it's just like the perception and the understanding thing. So B and C is a judgmental call, like you maybe judgmental call, or maybe you have come under the influence of the product owner that if he's saying that he must be right, which is a very usual real life thing. That if somebody senior or somebody who you report to, or someone who is in the customer capacity, if they are saying anything, you just right away agree to it without any R&D or without any justification. Now, why D is a more appropriate answer? Schedule time during the next retrospective session, which is the very next thing to happen after this review meeting. What's the very next in line? Retrospective, right? So it's the very next session, maybe the same day, maybe the very next day, but it's the very next thing in the line, to discuss all the corrective actions and ask the product owner to participate in this session. Like I told you already, that the definitive members of retrospective session is development team members. These are the definitive members, plus anyone who is invited, anyone who is needed or invited, internal to the organization, not external to the organization. So if product owner has raised a query, which probably you don't think should be discussed or should be argued upon in that session, where most likely external customer or end user is also sitting, then it's more appropriate to discuss it offline with him in the retrospective session, because regardless, this is not going to be accepted. Everybody knows that this, at least this item, is not going to be considered as done, because product owner plus customer both provide you that validation that yes, this has been done from our side. So this, regardless, is not going to be marked as done in this sprint at least. So it's going to be rejected, or it's going to be taken back to the product backlog. So the best thing to do in this case is rather you just linger upon that and you just keep on talking about that or argue about that as a development team representative. You just park it for discussion in that meeting, because the external members are already there. Invite the product owner in the next meeting because he is needed for this discussion, and try to drill down like more details so that you could better understand what he is trying to say and you could better understand your viewpoint to him. And if after that discussion you are convinced, as a development team, you are convinced that yes, he's saying the right thing, then maybe going with B or C makes sense. Maybe in the next sprint, upcoming sprint, as a backlog item. It's going to be one of your action steps. Either you are going to agree that yes, this is going to be worked upon again, or you are going to making agree that this is working as expected, and you just add it in the next sprint and mark it as done in the next review meeting. I don't know how much sense I'm making to all of you, but I have actually explained a lot of stuff about Scrum in this question explanation alone. Yes, yes, and now I'm ready to answer your question.
All right. So, Tooba, you were saying that only the sprint planning and then the sprint retrospective, the product owner would be involved with. Isn't that like product owner is a person who is involved throughout the sprint, and like if we want a feedback, he is complaining that there seems to be a problem with the development and with the original design. So if we talk about C and we ask the development team to rewrite the function, yes, that's a judgmental call. We are saying that product owner is right and you have to do it. But if we say B, it means that product owner, we think that the product owner is right, but we would ask the QA team to re-verify if the product owner is right or wrong. Going towards the retro in the end means that we, whatever he was saying, we are going to do it in the next sprint, do the next sprint planning, and that would delay what the feedback we got from the product owner, which I think is involved in throughout the sprint. If that's not the case, like, you can tell me that.
Okay, so you are convinced that at least A and C doesn't make sense, right? It's between
Yeah.
B and C, right? Okay. First of all, a couple of things which may be different in your practical agile implementation. However, as per the best practices or as per the core agile, I don't know if you are aware or not, because when I say this thing, people usually get surprised about that. So, as per the core agile practices, once you are in a review session, I'm talking about the review, right? Where whatever you have developed as a team, you portray and showcase it to the customers or to the product owner. You are not expected to make any single change in your increment. First of all, you are not expected to rewrite anything, at least in that sprint. Number two, and you are not expected to re-verify whatever you have made till that point in that sprint. Number three, means after the review, only two possibilities are there. First possibility is that, actually three possibilities are there. First possibility is that your deliverable is going to be accepted. The second possibility is that your deliverable is going to be right away rejected, which is the case over here. And the third possibility is that your deliverable is partly accepted, like some part of it is accepted and some part of it is rejected with mutual consent. And which part is rejected is going to go back in the product platform. Right? No other possibility is there. If you say that, what's the big deal if I make a, so this question has been raised in the previous class, that is it not going to make a sense that, for instance, customer has asked for a minor change, maybe a little design change or something. As per the best practice, no, you should not be making change. But I know in the practical world, nothing like that really applies. You are making changes during the review session. You are making changes post-review session as well, before the retrospective or during the retrospective. All of that applies, right? My point is B and C both doesn't apply if you are sitting in the review session, and if for that sprint, right? For that sprint, the option B doesn't apply as per the best practice. Quality assurance team is not expected to identify any mismatches after getting the feedback. It should have been done during the verification process before going to the customer in the validation phase. You're getting my point. This is against the best practice.
But my my point is that is the product owner is involved throughout the sprint, or he is only involved in the sprint review?
Okay, yes. First of all, you tell me that like why B doesn't make sense, or why B is not a best option to go for. It can be a choice, but it's not the best choice. As per the best practices, it's not the best choice, right? As per the best practices, D is the best choice. Right? You can't really ask the quality team to go back, maybe in the same session or maybe after the session, to revisit the mismatches and functionality and this and that for that sprint. In the practical world, yes, this may be an option, but no, after the review session, only retrospective happens. No other thing in that sprint. Product owner, ideally product owner is involved, can be involved at any point if needed. However, until he is not invited in the discussion in the daily scrum or in the usual routine stuff after the planning or the sprint backlog is created, no, product owner is not actively involved. I would say no.
So we assume, if there is nothing written, we assume that he is doing the sprint review.
No, I would not say just assume right away. So how did I say that this is sprint review? Because they are saying that the product owner is complaining about the developed functionality. So where would the product owner be sitting? Like as a mandatory member, where does he sit? Either in the sprint planning or either in the sprint review. It's not really about planning, because it's about reviewing of the developed functionality. So it means it's review.
But the developer functions are being discussed in the daily scrum as well. If the product involved,
But the product owner is not a definite member in the daily scrum, right? Have you seen a product owner attending the daily scrum on a daily basis as a mandatory member? No, the daily scrum is about a team. Product owner, maybe in your setup, product owner daily comes and daily attends the meeting. I'm not disagreeing to it, but as per the you go and read the scrum guide, you will get to know that the definitive member of the daily scrum is the team only, not the product owner, not even the scrum master. Scrum master, if he want to skip, he may skip if his role or responsibility for the daily scrum is taken care of by any of the development department.
Okay.
Right? So product owner is definitely not a mandatory participant of daily scrum. No, he may join if he want. Occasionally, he may join, or if he is needed, he may join. But it's not going to make him a mandatory participant. But all the members of the team are mandatory participants of the daily scrum. Any other questions? We are pretty much overrunning the session.
Madam, I have two questions.
Yes.
One is where do the quality assurance team lies? Where we have the development team in the sprints that is themselves looking after, or the whole team is looking after the quality perspective at the first phase. And second question is that the who is taking this step number D? Although I have chosen the point D as, however, who is scheduling time during the next retrospective session? Who this point D is referring to? While you have said that project owner is, we will take it like the project owner. So who will be the? It is the team itself who is scheduling time for the next session.
Okay. First of all, the development team is all the members who is other than the scrum master and the product owner in the agile scrum setup. And development team necessarily is the project team, and project team is the people who get the project work done. So the development team would have the developers, the engineers, the PAs, QAs, maybe if there are project managers, and the project manager also is going to be in development team, although there is no hard and fast project manager in Agile. So any technical person or any management person is going to be part of the development itself. And who schedules the session? I mean, there is no hard and fast rule to it. It can be Scrum Master, it can be one of the development team members, it can be product owner as well. If it is a meeting on his part, for instance, sprint planning or sprint review, he can schedule that as well. So, I mean, there is no hard and fast rule. The roles and responsibility can be taken care of by someone, but most likely Scrum Master. Most likely is going to be Scrum Master.
Right, ma'am.
Any other questions? So Shahid, in your case, I would highly suggest that you start on the simulator-based lessons, because those are going to give you a lot of clarity on these foundational questions about